Peace and blessings to you. So, as we all know, over time, relationships between the Jews, Christians, and Muslims have often been marked by conflict, partly because of political power struggles and cultural dominance. This history has obscured the spiritual continuity that exists between these faiths. Many people see religious movements in terms of succession or replacement. For example, Christianity is often perceived as replacing Judaism. Islam is sometimes seen as a challenge to both Judaism and Christianity. However, these perceptions ignore the possibility that each tradition fulfills a unique purpose within God's plan. Many people have not studied the Torah, Bible, and Quran deeply enough to understand how they interconnect. They might only view their own scripture as valid without considering how other texts align with their teachings. Scriptures can be interpreted in ways that emphasize exclusivity rather than inclusivity. For example, Jews focus on their unique covenant with God through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Muslims emphasize the universal message of Islam and the Quran's role as the final revelation. Both are actually true within their own context, but they're not inherently contradictory. In Judaism, the Israelites emphasize a specific covenant with a chosen people. This is often viewed as exclusive to those of Israelite descent or those who join the faith. Islam teaches a universal message focusing on submission to Allah rather than lineage. Many struggle to reconcile these two ideas without seeing them as opposing. In reality, both ideas can coexist. The covenant with the Israelites can remain intact while Islam serves as a complementary universal guide. People often attach their faith to their personal or cultural identity. This attachment can make it hard to accept that another group also has a divine role or truth. And the idea of being chosen can lead to feelings of superiority, making it difficult to accept that another faith also holds divine legitimacy. And as we all know, pride comes before a fall. So the Creator's plan often involves testing humanity's ability to accept divine wisdom in various forms. Spiritual pride or ignorance can blind people to the idea that multiple paths can coexist under one divine truth. Satan or Shaitan is described in both Jewish and Islamic traditions as a deceiver who sows discord among believers, making it harder for people to see unity in diversity. With the Israelites, they were chosen to fulfill a specific role in preserving and teaching the divine law, which was the Torah, or the first five books in the Old Testament. In Islam, it was not meant to replace this, but to add a universal dimension to God's message, emphasizing mercy, justice, and submission. Just as a body has different parts that work together, different faiths may serve different purposes in God's greater plan. So then the challenge comes, how do we foster this understanding? So through education and dialogue. Open discussions between Jews and Muslims and other faiths can build bridges. Highlighting shared profits and values is key. Number two, focus on unity in diversity. The emphasis on oneness of God and the shared responsibility of humanity to follow his guidance. Number three, living by example. Understanding comes when people step back and recognize the Creator's infinite wisdom and capacity to guide humanity in different ways for different times, yet with a unified purpose. So, what role do you see yourself playing in helping others grasp this harmony? The Creator's light is infinite. It shines across time, people, and nations. It refracts into many rays, each distinct yet part of a single divine spectrum. This light is the truth, and in that truth there is no contradiction, only clarity. With the Israelites, God made a covenant with the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They were chosen, not for privilege, but for purpose, to carry his law, to reflect his holiness, to lead the world by example. This covenant is eternal, and the Creator has not forgotten his promise. In Islam, God, in his infinite mercy, or Al Rahman Ar Rahim, sent Islam to bring his light to all of humanity, not to replace the covenant, but to expand his guidance. Islam reminds the world that submission to the Creator is the key to peace. It is a universal call, one that transcends lineage, nation, and race. In reality, the Creator's plan is not either or, it is actually both. The Israelites remain the chosen bearers of the covenant. Islam brings a universal message to all who seek truth. Together, they are parts of a divine tapestry woven with purpose, bound by light. With Array of Light therapy, it reflects this truth. And we recognize that healing begins when we recognize that God's wisdom is bigger than our own divisions. With the Israelites' covenant, the Creator's promise to the Israelites is definitely unbreakable. They are a cornerstone of his plan, tasked with keeping his commandments and holy days as a testimony to his greatness. In Islam, the universal message extends that same light to the entire world, calling all people to recognize the oneness of God and live in submission to his will. Just as light can shine through different prisms, God's truth manifests through different revelations. The Torah, the Quran, each shows a facet of that same eternal light. So why can't we see it? Because we fail because we look for differences instead of connections. The Creator's plan is not limited to one group or message. It is a masterpiece where every piece has its place. So, to my fellow Israelites, our covenant is alive. Our role is sacred. But the Creator's light is vast. It reaches beyond us, not against us. To my fellow Muslims, Islam is definitely a universal truth, but it does not erase the covenant. It fulfills and adds to the divine light without diminishing it. So, our Creator's light shines on all who seek Him. Healing begins when we stop asking who is right and start asking, how do we honor His light together? God's plan is unity, not division. The Israelites will definitely see their covenant fulfilled, and Islam will continue to call humanity to submission. And together, these rays of light will shine as one. So let us stop dividing what the Creator has united. His light is calling us forward. Will we answer? So, with that being said, if you know, you know.